General. Take me.
I've heard this boss is really hard, so it's probably the best time to test the build. He got no chill, she just insta-starts on me.
Let's see how much you blood.
Wasn't that bad, honestly. And if you like this build, I'm gonna make a build for this weapon because I just picked it up recently and I fell in love instantly with it, and I have just 1 point for one-handed swords. Let's start with the fact that you should always use 2 weapons. And it's either your dual swords and one-handed sword or double dual swords. And that's purely for the quality of life. And if you wonder which version you should use, it just depends on the fact if you like to use the swift draw or not. So if you don't like it, I recommend you using one-handed swords and picking the very first point on the talent tree for the biding time. It will passively give us Skyborn Might, which is just amazing. As you see, I'm just standing here AFK recording this video and I constantly have the full Skyborn Might stacks. And all of them are provided by just me having one-handed sword equipped and the binding time. You have to actually have it equipped in your hands, so if you decide to AFK or just go back to the boss, I recommend you having this in your hand, and then you can swap to your dual swords and instantly use Blade Master, temper it and everything, all this good stuff, and you're ready to fight the boss. But if you like the swift draw mechanic, I highly recommend you like Twin Bandits combo with either the firearms or for example the scissors we get from the braids, because like one of them shoots and dodges for you and the other blocks the attacks. But my personal favorite is not using the swift draw and just getting my Skyborn Might passively by using one-handed sword, and whenever I fight I constantly get all my Skyborn Might via the scissors, which has this broken this is broken how it deals with enemies. Just spam this, get the Skyborn Might meanwhile, and like these weapons alone, because of this singular weapon skill, is just so broken for the dual blades part. That's just how the dual blades overall work via your skills is just purely insane. But before we go on, quick word about our sponsor, LagoFast. LagoFast is a game booster that offers many different tools for games, like customizable FPS booster. But it doesn't end here. Amount of game tools LagoFast offers is really impressive. Let's take Wuchang as an example and look at its dedicated map tool, Map Master. It highlights all kinds of stuff on your map. You can of course filter it, like enemies, resources, NPCs, and many more. And you can also enable an option that lets you teleport to those resources. So let me demonstrate you real quick how it works in game. We just press the bind associated with it and we see everything that we checked to see. And we can just simply disable it with one click as well. There's also an alternative option for it, which shows you this radar, like a map, that shows you all the resources, enemies and everything on the radar instead. And after getting abused by this boss on repeat, I learned very good use of it by just teleporting back into the room instead of walking on the stairs. So if you're interested, I will put link down there in the description with my discount code for anyone interested in getting the premium subscription. And big thanks to LagoFast for sponsoring this video. Talents are pretty simple, since we instantly start with the Feather Chaser, which is the main thing that allows dual blades attacks to clash. We just ignore the side notes here and we go straight up to the next point, which is unmatched. It allows us to consume 1 stack of Skyborn Might to quickly strike with the charge heavy dual blades attack, which is just insane because we're gonna be overflowing with Skyborn Might with this build. We of course pick Swift Warrior for the Skyborn Might generation, then we go to the right side and whenever you have the required feathers you can go with the Swift Blade for the mastery. And we just basically make haste to the Blade Master to pick it up ASAP, and you can feel free to use both upgrades since both upgrades are very good. Now we grab Endurance because Endurance is beautiful to have as much as possible, and we go up here, and here I'd recommend you giving up the first points into the mastery so you can skip here. But of course this we also want, it's just a matter of time and amount of talents available to you at the moment. And Leaf Slasher gives us Clash, and of course we're gonna get Skyborn Might if we clash on the 4th, so this gives us that the 6th attack also gives Skyborn Might, so if 4th and the 6th clashes you're of course gonna get 2 Skyborn Might each. After you spend to this base of talents, we just make haste to go up to grab as much Endurance as we can, and we of course grab this mastery, which is just 1 pointer. later, and later on we're gonna go here for the HP, but for now you can invest into endurance or vitality depending on what you feel more for you. So I'd say that this part is like the most important, but remember, not always rush to finish this, because there is very important note here if you use the one-hander to pick, and also going in here, especially for the Skyborn call, all of the Skyborn calls, cause up here you will get all your charges, and you also gonna get the tempering here, which is really important. But before we go over the tempering, remember to pick only that one point here into one-handeds if you use the one-hander to generate AFK style for your Skyborn Might. I tend to leave the game a lot on AFK, so even when you're interacting with the shrine or anything, it will keep generating you the Skyborn Might as long as you have the one-handed sword in your hand. Remember that Skyborn Call 1 should be also picked very early before you progress that far into this tree, because you will have the mana capacity and stuff. You're not gonna be able to instantly ramp them up to full, but getting one more charge is already really good. And every single time you can on the way to the Skyborn Call number 3 and the final mana potency, remember to always grab anything related to tempering, because tempering is broken. If you have required materials, you can also use those nodes, they just cost materials, and just keep grabbing the temper stuff, cause you wanna progress up to mana potency, because anyway, right before it, you have this final alteration for the tempering for the final acupoint, and you're gonna have some more charges if you have required materials here, so you can grab that as well. Having all this mana potency stuff is just beautiful. Those points for tempering are completely situational, because you should always swap the element what you're using up to the boss weakness. But if you want one like versatile that you could always use without having to really swap, obviously leech. This is just completely broken, always, every single time, heals you. What else you want? Heals you with damage, you like stop damage with clashes, and like, what can I say? This is a broken stuff, it's beautiful, and if you want the most versatile, bone needle, lock-in, never swap, well, leech is for ya. And tempering is pretty simple, we just put the increased duration in this slot, and here we operate depending on what we use. If we have leech, I recommend myself, what I use with the leech is just triple agility, but if you would for example be using the flame, well, then we of course just leave one, the biggest agility we have available, and we go for status, and we also go for the attack power, because the attack power, as you can see here, will increase the fire we gain from here, and this status will increase the status build up from here. So I just usually tend to like just leave it like this, whatever I use, even if it's leech or not, because I'm just lazy to change it all the time. But if there is a boss that gets on me a bit too much, then I tend to try hard and swap everything that I need to just try hard and get that boss over with. With Benediction, I'd go the lazy way, just synergize with potency of blocks and clashes, counter moves, and gaining Skyborn Mind endows your attacks with life leech for a very short moment. So this set is amazing if you don't use leech. If you don't use leech with this set, because of the middle Benediction especially, you don't have to use leech. You can use the element that fits the boss, or just be like me and use burn because lazy to ever swap. And well, then you can use this and still retain the life leech, although not as strong, because you will have to do it always, like get the Skyborn Might and then hit the boss as well, instead of just hitting him. But that's just a minor inconvenience. I like it more this way, and I really love the set. It just synergizes perfectly, pretty easy to get, and what else I can say? You can just, other than that, you can just pick on up to what you need the Benedictions, but this just feels very comfortable for me, and that's what I use most of the time, especially the middle one. And as an example, this is the setup I use whenever I use my flame build up, or that would be frostbite. Those would be just related to the frostbite ones, and that's pretty much it. I keep the middle one so I don't have to go leech. I can burn, I can frostbite, I can, I don't know, poise break, whatever I want at the moment. Just like pick the other two other than the shank memory, because it's just too good, way too good. So that's just an example. That's pretty much it, all you really need to know. I will leave you with some footage so you can see those in action.
Oh, don't be so eager now.
traitor! I'll crush you! Father saved me. He shall be avenged! Serve Ming! Forsake not your honor!